University with continuing the academic program, good luck with that. Essentially, we have said this and we will continue to say that we are very resolute in our stance to say we're demanding free, quality, decolonized education now. We refuse to be dictated by a council, a senate or a vice chancellor that cannot even come and meet with its own students. They failed to meet with us at the General Assembly that they organized on Friday in order to hear the grievances of students. They refused to have an imbizo with the students today, which is something that we had been discussing and negotiating. So essentially the only way they want to interact with students is through the police, and we're saying it's fine, we will engage with them in whatever manner in which they choose, but as students we're very resolute. We're waiting for our numbers to come from Medical School and Education Campus, where leaders such as Koketsopo, Vuyani Pambo and Mcebo Dlamini have been able to successfully shut down those campuses, and we will make sure that main campus is shut down as well.
So what does this mean? We've seen the university's attempt the first time around to open this institution. There were disruptions, there were lecture halls, students were told to get out of those lecture halls, lecturers were told to leave as well. The institution says that it plans to revise the exam timetable as well as the academic program, but what you're saying is that any revision to that would not make any sense because you do not plan to go into these classrooms.
Essentially, we do welcome the revision to the academic program and to the exams as well. As shifting in the schedule is very welcomed by students, because at the end of the day we have been very clear about the fact that we want to write our exams, but the conditions under which we write those exams are very important, and we're not willing to write those exams under the conditions of having private security and police. So the militarization of our campuses is something that we will not allow our students to go back into classes with. And also, until the university has committed their support, their physical support, by protesting with us for free decolonized education, we cannot continue with the academic program. But we do welcome the revisions and we do want to interact with them. At this point in time, we're waiting for management to come down from their ivory towers and meet with us. If they do want to a large extent to solve this problem on campus, we say to them, come and meet with the students. The students have been asking for the past 4 weeks now to sit down with you, and you're not allowing us to do so.
Well, let's get an update now on the situation at Wits. Griselda Lewis is there, where we hear, Griselda, there have been 2 arrests made. What do we know? Good afternoon.
Well, that's right, Natasha. Official confirmation from the South African Police Service is that 2 students have been arrested. It's unclear at this stage on what charges. We're still trying to get some clarification on that, but that was just a few minutes after the flooding of one of the labs where some of these students who were studying in there were forcefully taken out. Well, students have been marching throughout the main campus at this stage for the past couple of hours, trying to shut down every single lecture that's been underway. You'd recall, of course, that the university had made an announcement over the weekend that lectures were to resume this morning. The academic program was going to resume as well. So at this stage, there's quite a lot of disruption at this stage. Some stones now being flung at the security personnel that are manning the entrance to the Great Hall at this stage. Chaos, absolute chaos now at Wits University as students are flinging stones at the security personnel here on the stairs of the Great Hall. Now this chaos comes after hundreds, if not thousands, of students had disrupted lectures here at the main campus, as well as at the education campus, as well as at the medical campus as well. Major disruptions on all. Police, I see now, are just about to charge and move in from the spot where I am reporting from now, Natasha. The situation certainly getting very out of control. I see police are trying to move in. Just stay with us for a few minutes there, Natasha. I see police are starting to jump into about 3 nyalas at this point, and perhaps will make their way towards these students. Well, I see the police are also now putting on their armored gear and are making their way towards this crowd at the moment. If you can see those shots there, Natasha, about 3 nyalas that are police nyalas that are just a few blocks away from where these students are gathered. Here, one of the nyalas now making its way to where these students have gathered. it just about turned out of control after students had given a countdown and then others started flinging stones towards the private security personnel that are manning the Great Hall. They've been doing so since very early this morning, after the university had also indicated it plans to beef up security after it made that decision to resume the academic program this morning. So now students wanted to gain access to the Great Hall, and of course the security personnel was not going to allow that. What you must recall at this stage there, Natasha, also is that part of the statement that was issued by Wits University was that students will be allowed to protest, but they will be protesting only in designated areas. So they've way far surpassed all of that now and have contravened that particular section, in that they have gone throughout the university and disrupted every single lecture that had been underway. Natasha, these are the largest group of students that we've seen at Wits University since the start of this protest, because you've got the various campuses that have now joined the students here at the main campus. Police quite hesitant there, I see. Much calmer, I must say, than Natasha, because usually once the students start flinging stones at the security personnel, that would be when the police would come in. But we haven't seen much of that reaction from them at this point. They've been very hesitant at firing any rubber bullets or tear gas. We've seen absolutely nothing pertaining to that since this morning. And then, Natasha, all indications are at this stage that the situation here will continue to be untenable. Absolutely no lectures. You see their students, if we're able to just get that shot. I'm not sure if you're able to see us. I'll get out of that shot for a few seconds. Some of these students are now sitting on the floor and forming a protection guard, if I could call it that, and basically that's to avoid the Nyala from driving from the section where it is and approaching the students here on the stairs of the Great Hall. But that police Nyala continues to be revved, and the students certainly don't seem intimidated by that at this stage. But the situation extremely tense here at Wits University at this time. We saw a number of the mediators also here this morning. Those we saw as well from the IEC, Terry Tselane, who was also amongst the mediators who'd been walking with the group of protesting students as they had gone into the various lecture halls and disrupted several of those classes. And at this stage, official confirmation there, of course, is that 2 students have been arrested, but no clarity on exactly what charges they will face. But this had happened just a few minutes after one of the laboratories had been flooded. So really what police will respond to at this stage, how they plan to respond at this stage, how they'll respond to what's happening here is a bit, your guess is as good as mine at this stage. But another police Nyala, you see 3 of those at this stage. 3 police Nyalas which are now towards the direction, facing towards the direction where the students are. And the students themselves, many of them also moving towards the Nyalas to avoid them from making their way towards students. I'm now seeing some students also, there's a bit of a commotion here at this stage. I see some of these, more stones are being flung at this stage, and more chaos has just ensued here at Wits University, while the situation extremely volatile at this stage, Natasha. I'm sure the visuals that you're seeing at this stage, more stones being flung towards the security personnel manning the the stairs to the Great Hall. And we're just going to try and get our camera person just slightly away from where all that chaos is. We're also just trying to avoid some of these stones. Some of the stones, and one of the nyalas at this stage we can see is now police are preparing to go in to where these students are, and unbelievable scenes here, Natasha. Unbelievable scenes, Natasha. You can see their students have now put their hands in the air and are, I guess, calling on police not to continue moving towards these students. So at least 3 police nyalas at this point stopped by students who are standing right in front of them. So seems to be a bit of noise coming from somewhere, Natasha, but I'm unable to. There you have it, Natasha. There you have it, Natasha. Well, absolutely chaotic scenes here at Wits University as stones are now being flung towards the police nyala, and we're also trying to take cover at this point where the situation has turned absolutely untenable. The chaos at Wits University at this point, as you see there now, just two students, 3 now standing in front of the police nyala. Students are going right back to the area where the police had just a few minutes ago fired some of those stun grenades. We're just going to try and move away from here. Stones being flung from absolutely every single direction at this point. One of the stones being flung right here towards me. I'm just going to try and move from the area where I am, but absolute chaos here at Wits University as students continue to stand in front of those 2 nyalas, preventing it from moving, or preventing them from moving towards the students. More stones are being flung towards the area where the private security had been manning the stairs to the Great Hall, and more stones being flung at this point. More stones being flung at this point. The situation absolutely out of control. Natasha, as the police nyala charges towards the students, there is still not moving. More stones being thrown at this stage, and others calling for a calm to resume. But at this stage, it's very difficult to say how police will be able to get the situation back to normal. But more stones are being flung towards the private security here. I tell you, this is the largest number of students that we have seen at the university since the start of one of the journalists just right in front of me hit with a stone at this stage, and I think, oh, he's bleeding. Just close your ear. I think we're just going to move back from this area where we are. Stones being flung absolutely everywhere. I can confirm to you that one of the cameramen has just been injured and he's bleeding on his ear at this point. The situation, as we move away from where these stones are being flung at this stage.